Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to this channel. Today we're going to talk about something very important, and I hope it will inspire you. I want to talk about the power of listening. The power of listening. I will start with a question. How many times do you listen before you speak to someone? How many times do you listen to your heart before speaking to your heart? This is a question that confuses so many people because most people would like to talk, to speak first before listening to someone or listening to their heart. There are so many voices we need to listen first before we speak, before making any comment. This is very crucial. Today, a friend of mine surprised me. He told me like this, "Man, why do you make these topics? You don't have enough audience." But before I answered it to him, I wanted to know why he speak to me to this way. Why does he think it's not necessary to talk or to make topics that inspires people, because I don't have enough audience? And after listening to him, I asked him, "Now tell me, how many disciples Jesus had?" And he didn't answer to me, but I'm very sure he knows the answer. So what I tried to tell him is, it doesn't matter how many audience we have. What is most important? Does what we talk to people change their lives? Does it create impact to their daily lives? That's what matters in our lives. But do we speak? Do we listen? What do we do first? Let me tell you something very important about listening. When you speak first, is very dangerous. But when you listen, when you give it time to listen to what someone telling you, to what voices speak about, it gives you the content. It will shape the content you're going to speak, to talk about. It gives you a go-ahead about how you intervene. Today I was taking a tour in a forest, and it taught me so many things. I discovered so many things from the forest. Look, when you're in a forest has so many trees, and each tree has leaves, green or dry. It doesn't matter how many dry, how many greens, but every tree has green and dry leaves. Each color represents something very important. When something is dry, it represents death. And when something is green leaves represent life, of course. So, can you count how many times you failed in your life? Sometimes we do things and we get disappointed. These are scars we get. And these scars are represented by dry leaves. Can you count how many things you did and you was very successful? This is represented by green leaves. So in our lives, we have both. We have failures, we have success, but How do we create impact? How do we change? How do we make change? How do we evoke some changes in our daily lives? I'm gonna tell you 3 important things. The first one is what we call self-reflection. This stands for what happened to you in the past. You sit down, you think about it, you think about what you did well, what you didn't do well, and how you can change it. Some people regret about what they did and failed, but you shouldn't be regretting. This game of regretting does not help you at all. But what is most important, how can I change my failure into success? The second step is what we call self-awareness. I'm aware about where I failed and what made me failing. But now in the present, self-awareness is the present. How do I make things positive? How do I move forward? This is what you call self-awareness. And the third step, which is most important, is about the future, which is self-discipline. Self-discipline. What reputation do I have in a society? How do people will look at me? How will I change people? What contribution will I have in the future to make change towards me and towards other people? Because before we change people, we need to get change. We need a change ourselves before we change other people. These are 3 important things that will help us to move on. But before you speak to someone, you have to listen. Listen to the voice. Listen to your heart. Listen to the voice of God before you speak, because it gives you the content. It shapes you. It shapes what you're gonna talk about. It's very important. There is a wisdom in listening to voices. So many times we get temptation. So many times we get people who make us angry. But how do we behave during that situation when we escalate? Do we first listen to our heart? Do we first think twice before act? This is very important, guys. You have to listen to your heart, process, take things easy. This is the same in our daily relationship or in our relationship when we are partnering. I mean, within the marriage, within the daily relationship, normal relationship with our colleagues, we need to think twice. We need to make things move smoothly, right? It's very important. It's very important. I would like anybody who will have a question to leave it in a comment so that I can give more clarification about what I'm talking about. And I think such a situations I'm talking about happens to anybody, any of us. And we keep regretting about what we didn't do well. But regretting does not help at all. What helps is, how am I gonna change this? How can I do better than what I did, than how I did it before, right? So guys, this is what I just wanted to talk about. Power of listening. Listening is an art. Listening with instinct. It's very important to have this instinct, because listening is not something you got to learn at school, but as we grow up, as we accommodate what society gives us, we grow up with maturity, and we come up with grown instinct to know what should we do before we act, before we react. It's very important. So guys, I wish you will have a wonderful day. Thank you so much, and God bless you.